Greetings all, welcome to the Gaming Block Podcast, the number one podcast for all the pertinent video game news spanning across all platforms, including Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and more. I am your host, Andrew Arana, and joined with me today are my co-hosts, Jacob Ward and Roger Bennett. On today's show, we'll be discussing CD Projekt Red's newest delay for Cyberpunk 2077, a PS5 launch game being punted out of its release date, a new Nintendo Mini Direct, and much, much more. But before we get into all that, tradition dictates that I ask my boys how they've been over the previous week. Boys, how have you been over the previous week?
I don't really feel like much of a co-host right now, but I'm doing okay.
Is it because we muted you 30 seconds ago?
Yeah, and you want to let me do the intro? I just want to do the intro for once.
What? You want to do the intro?
Yeah.
You gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it, yeah. Maybe by episode 50, I might let you do the intro. But right now,
okay.
Yeah, but right now,
hold on to that.
Okay, yeah, remember that, Roger. Fact check us.
Oh, dude, yeah, I got it.
Roger, you also got to remember with the answer to the riddle on episode 54.
Yeah, that's the one I'm gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Roger, how are you doing?
I've been having a bit of a shit week. Literally.
Happens.
My toilet stopped working. I spent the last 2 days trying to get it working.
Oh, I see. That is literally a shit week.
Well, yeah, that's what holes in the backyard are for.
Yeah, I've been using Jumpstart.
You do what you got to do, I guess. Walk over there and just. Do they know you by now?
I know this one. I know the riddle. Haha! I feel so smart.
Okay. Do you walk into the gas station and little bell rings and look over and it's the shit guy again? He just comes in here, goes to the bathroom for 20 minutes and leaves.
No, I buy a candy bar or something so I don't feel bad.
Oh, that's so nice.
I throw them off.
That's very admirable of you. I definitely would not do that. I would go in there and I would wreck that bathroom and then I would walk out like nobody's business.
I hate public bathrooms so much because I swear to God, every time somebody bangs on the door 6 times, it's it's busy, dude. What do you want?
It's not going to make me go any faster.
No, it's going to make me slow down.
I mean, sometimes it scares me so much that I do go faster.
No, I'm camera shy.
It just annoys me, and then I just kind of tighten up, and nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too upset.
We're not getting to this yet, but I looked at the question for the week today. It immediately made me laugh. But before we get into that, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and just jump right into. Oh wait, was there anything else you want to talk about your week before I jump in to Gaming Riddle?
Me,
I lost my left eye.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so now we call you Righty. Fantastic.
Wait.
All right, well, with that in mind, it is once again time for everyone's favorite segment, the Gaming Riddle. All right, boys. Jake, hit us with the theme. All right, that was not worth it. You got another strike.
Okay. If you can I hold that until we go bowling?
Whose fucking phone is it on silent?
That's probably Roger.
No, it's not me. Mine didn't go off.
Well, that leaves only Andrew then. I think it was a self-report.
Turn your phone on goddamn silent.
That is important. Downwell is 74 cents on Steam. How could I miss that?
It's time for Gaming Riddle. This riddle today is a doozy one, and our boys cheated and looked ahead, and they already know it. But I'm still going to read it anyways because I'm a little proud of it. All right, today's riddle goes: arrows, swords, fire. What could I be? On 11/11/11, I released on 3. Xbox, PlayStation, and of course, PC. More consoles still await me.
It's Skyrim.
See how I made a rhyme that time?
Mm-hmm.
See how I made the rhyme? Roger, since you lost last week, you get to guess first, and I think you already said it. But
Skyrim. It's Skyrim.
No, he's wrong. It's Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
No, you are correct, Roger. It is Skyrim, and with that, Roger is on the board.
Woo, baby!
Heck yeah!
Look at
Our
that.
score now is Jake 2, Roger 1. Literally had to give him one of the most popular games in the world.
Yeah, that's all you have to do is let me go first on one of the most popular games ever released, and I wanted to
Or give him Nier.
or Near, yeah, the game that we played Near.
I'll
The
give
least
you
popular game in the world.
it's gonna be the new Nier, like remaster or whatever.
Yeah,
But you're gonna have to say all the numbers too.
yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
gonna
Version
require you to say all the
version
numbers.
1.11706584, whatever.
Yeah, You're gonna, and if you don't get that wrong, I get a point. All right. Well, that was a fun little riddle. Definitely not as difficult as the last ones. Get ready. Next week's gonna be some freaking Dreamcast game that released in Europe only. All right, but moving on from that, we're gonna go ahead and talk about what we've been playing this week. Now, I have mine written down here, and actually have addition to make that. But this week, I've been playing some Danganronpa with my girlfriend. She's getting into all these video game things, and she likes it. I think she always gets tired when she plays games, so I don't know.
I think
But
I've watched her fall asleep playing that game like 3 times now.
yeah, I think like every time she plays, she falls asleep. But she likes it, and she always asks to play it, so that's
I had
good.
I had
Like
a focus
Persona.
on the Wii, and I fell asleep every time I played that game.
Yeah, I mean, there's some games that I also just doze off to. I was playing a little more Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm still on that hard run or whatever you want to call it. It's fun. It's good. I beat the boss right away. Hard mode ain't no bitch to me.
Ooh,
We also played through Flower. I don't know if you guys have heard this
Mhm.
game, but it's a PS3 game.
It's the
Nice
Journey guys,
little.
right?
No, it's not the. Well, I
Yeah,
don't
pretty sure it's
think
the
it
Journey
is.
guys.
I thought it was Santa Monica that made Flower.
They made um,
They made
Journey.
Journey too.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I guess this is the precursor to Journey.
God of
Yeah.
War.
familiar. Oh, they made God of War. That's right.
Yeah,
Wow.
Well, so it's actually kind of interesting. Santa Monica is like a really big studio, like massively big, and they had these internal teams in there that were making these like smaller indie games. Eventually they broke off, and now it's just an empty warehouse. But before they weren't, and they had these teams making like Flower and Journey, and I think they made a couple others, but I can't remember. But that's gone now, and they just released it under the name of Sony Santa Monica. So it wasn't literally the God of War guys on one computer typing like this beautiful little flower pellet with this wavy music, and then turn around to Kratos butt fucking some dude while ripping skulls off. Like it wasn't that.
Oh, listen,
That'd be,
Kratos ain't gay.
I'd be really impressed though.
Or is he? I don't know. It's 2020.
I have no idea. I've also been playing some more Beat Saber because it seems like it's my new Persona 4 Golden, where I'm always just going to be playing it. And
Yeah.
then Jake can attest to this. I right before we started recording, I installed Watch Dogs Legion and played a bit of that.
Looks
Uh,
good.
That's out.
Released today. Yeah, it came out today. We'll read it later in the drop. But played some of that, and it's the 30-minute review I can give of it, or I guess my 30-minute playthrough, and then giving a review of that, is
Your
that
first
it feels like a game that released in 2008.
Bro,
And
2008 was a good year for games though.
Mm-hmm.
it was, but it's not 2008 anymore. It feels very, very dated. But I'm gonna keep on with it and see what else I get from there. But that's all for me. What about you guys? What have you been up to? What have you been playing? Okay.
I'm gonna let Roger lead because I haven't been playing anything.
I've been playing the new the Pokemon DLC, the Crown Tundra.
That's right. That came out. Is it
Yeah,
good?
so I like it. I mean,
That's good. I didn't like.
Let me tell us about your feelings on Moltres. I remember you snapped me about that, and that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, well, so what they did is they had Galarian forms of the three original legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. And the
Mhm.
guy that like gives you the quest, he's like, "Oh, I found the birds roaming around, and they're like completely different birds." And like
Hmm.
you read the Pokédex, and it's like, yeah, I guess it's named Zapdos because when it runs, it makes like a zappy noise with its feet. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure that these are just completely different legendary Pokemon, but the guy that gave you the quest didn't know that, and he's just so stupid that that's what they got known as.
Mm.
And I also think that because you can find the original three in the little max raid things. So,
Oh
I'm pretty,
yeah, those I forgot that they had those.
dude, they're
Those are
actually
fun.
pretty fun. Not gonna lie. And
I'm,
it's
I'm
really
still
cool.
on I think I just beat the second gym.
So here's a cool thing: is I tried this on a different profile, and you can go to the Crown Tundra like right away, so you can get level 70 legendaries before your first gym.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah,
I
you
need to
should do
buy the
that.
DLC and then do that
I got
because
it. I got a shiny Suicune from one of the raids, so I was really happy about that.
yeah,
You
you would
know,
be.
one day when there's like not a lot of news in the week or something, we should have like a topic about just Pokemon because I have so much
I
to
could
say about
I
Pokemon.
could say a lot about Pokemon. Like every generation
Like,
has
Pokemon.
different stories.
I've
Uh-huh.
tried. I've literally played every single one of them, but I think I've beat like four of them, and it's not because I can't beat them or anything. It's just that I get so what's the word, angry or something like
Angry.
that.
I
But
think ever since they went 3D, I've kind of just slowly more and more lost interest in it.
I thought Gen 6
hmm
was really good, but I feel like afterwards it's gotten a lot worse. And I
It's
still
just
think like
the characters are have no personality anymore. I mean, and it's you don't really play it for much of a story, is what everyone says, but there used to be
it's not that they have no personality; it's all the same. It's all that bubbly personality.
yeah, it's all how.
Yeah,
Um, but that was the thing. At least your rivals would have some sort of quirky personality, or you would either love him or hate him. And now it's just it's him.
like
yeah.
I think Pokemon Platinum is like the peak of Pokemon. Like I think that's the best it
Hmm.
got.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, Sun and Moon and it's really Ultra Sun and Moon. I had a lot of issues with those games. I think these games are better than Sun and Moon, even though that's kind of a hot take. But they definitely like skipped in a lot of areas. But with the DLC, this new DLC, like they actually have the whole like a wild area, and the way they designed it was really cool. There's a lot of places you can explore, and they have a whole town there that you don't have to like go through a loading screen or anything. And I'm like, if this is like a beta for what like the next Pokemon would be like, I'd be down for that. But that might just be me being hopeful.
it's wouldn't it be great if they just made the whole game like that?
I want a Pokemon Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
I have a quick question, Roger, for you.
Yeah,
How much was Pokemon when it came out on Switch?
60.
yeah, it was $60.
It was 60. Okay,
Hmm.
all right.
They were always traditionally 40, and then the DLC I think is $30. Is that right per
Yeah, for both
game?
of them, it's 30.
So to get the full Pokemon experience, you need to drop about $150.
You'd need about $90 if you want a
Well,
full.
if you want the whole experience, you got to get both Sword and Shield, right?
Oh, well, I guess I don't view that as a whole experience. I just view that as like I don't know if you're like an Uber nerd or something. But in that case,
hmm
if you want the full experience, then it's actually 180 because there you have to get DLC for each games.
Yeah, because you don't when you
Mm.
buy the DLC, it's only for one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's worse than I thought.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you'd have to drop another $60.
Well,
that's
like for me, like Pokemon Red and Blue. I mean, it's the same game, right? You just get
yeah,
like it's not like Fire Emblem Fates where it's like literally a different game.
different games.
Although I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the DLCs have their own unique versions between the two games as well.
They
Hmm.
each
There's
have a couple of things. It's small ones. Like in the first DLC, you get a different rival, and there's like a couple of Pokemon. And then the second DLC, there's no difference. I think there's like one or two Pokemon.
okay.
All right, all right. Well, that's cool. I think I'm gonna get back to that game someday. Maybe like I take my
I
Switch
think
somewhere. Like, oh,
I think the DLC is pretty cool just because it's an entire new wild area, and the way they design it is like there's a lot of things to do and go. So
hmm
it's like playing
well,
a
that's cool.
mini Breath of the Wild.
I
But
like that. I like that. Anything that is inspired by Breath of the Wild, I'm kind of down for right now. Which
Like Gaichi Impact.
we'll talk about later. All right. Well, now that we've gone through what we're playing, we do
Oh
have
well,
our what?
I didn't.
You
yeah,
said
what
you
was
weren't
Jake?
playing anything.
I had a little bit. I was going to talk about. I was just
Okay.
okay.
Well, because you
Jacob,
said earlier, like, well, I've
I was just
literally
going to let
played
Roger
nothing.
go first because mine was less interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, go
don't
ahead.
pat it around. Just say what you're gonna say.
I mean, I haven't really been playing much video games. I played a bit of the Age of Calamity demo, which was pretty good.
How is
Um,
that?
I like it. I'm more engaged in it than I was in Hyrule Warriors. And it's actually pretty lengthy. I thought it would just be like the first couple missions, but then I did the first couple missions, then all these things. Like I think there was 4 more missions opened up on the map. So I'm like, oh, well, this is gonna go for a while. And I played I think like an hour and a half for the first 2 missions. So it's a
Yeah.
pretty decently length demo. But it's very much rewriting history already. So like what happens is the very beginning, this little egg guardian thing time travels back from when Zelda was sealing Ganon to right before Ganon reawoke, and it's pretty much an alternate timeline, and it's not going to
Oh,
be
I
like
thought it was
a
like a
one
full
for
on
one what
prequel.
happened before Breath of the Wild's events.
Oh, okay, that kind of bumps me out. Actually, I was hoping to
Mhm.
get like full on prequel. I wanted the game to end with
Like
Lincoln
I don't
just
know how
in
much it's going to
water.
deviate, but like at the very beginning, they already see the calamity happening and being like, "How can we stop this? Like we cannot let this come to pass." So I don't
Maybe
know if
it'll be
it's.
like a self fulfilling prophecy where like they try to stop it and they just kind of like
Mhm.
cause it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, they could lead to some cool things if they go a specific route. Because I
Are they
don't
still
think they're
making?
going to do this.
Are they
Since
still
this
making
game
Breath of the
is
Wild 2?
What?
what?
Are they still making Breath of the Wild 2, or did that kind of
Yeah,
No,
die?
they canceled that.
Okay,
no, yes, they're still making it.
I didn't know.
So what I'm thinking is, with the only Persona 5 Scramble is a sequel to Persona 5, and that's a game made by Koei Tecmo in the Warrior style, whatever you call it. And that
Yeah.
reminds me a
Please.
lot of Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. But this is a prequel. So I think to have a little more creative freedom, they went ahead and did this like time traveling thing. But Zelda, as everyone knows, is not like afraid of time travel. It has it in a lot of their games.
Hmm.
And with at the end of Breath of the Wild, you defeat Ganon and he's destroyed. Now we see in the trailer that Ganondorf kind of comes back or something. They could be doing a thing where he time travels and does something like that. Like that is a possibility. And also, like Zelda is the same age in this game as she was in the Breath of the Wild, so there's probably some type of time travel thing going on there too.
Well, something also is like Master Koga as well doesn't look any different back in pre Calamity than he did post Calamity, or I guess not really post Calamity, but pre post Calamity.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I like they showed a Yiga clan member, which I thought was like going to be him because he was like a big buff guy, but then it cut and it showed regular Master Koga, and I was just like, oh,
It could
well,
also just be a person,
Maybe
though.
it's just an
Maybe
ancestor.
like
You know how they like the ancestors all
yeah,
look
it could be
yeah,
an
maybe.
ancestor or something. Like
But they
it's
also have Purar and the other scientist guy, and they're still alive, and same with
Well,
Impa. Like I
why
think
is
Hylia has just
Zelda
lived a long
why
time.
is Zelda the same age? Because that was in
I
Breath
think
of the
it's because
Wild,
of like because she sealed herself along with Ganon.
and it just
That's
stopped.
how Ganondorf persists throughout the generations because he's always sealed away, and he
Oh, I
doesn't. I
thought
don't think
he
you
was
age
just
when you're sealed.
reincarnated, like Link and Zelda were.
yeah, you do. In Ocarina of Time, Link was sealed
Yeah,
Yeah, but he
and he
aged.
aged.
but then he was sealed to like specifically to age, so he could
But
be the.
so wait, when
But
you seal it,
he wasn't sealed by Zelda
Are you
though.
telling me
Which
that
the
Zelda's
wait,
time
you're
Ganondorf
saying
travel rules are
the Ganondorf who was sealed.
inconsistent?
Listen, the Ganondorf who was sealed in Ocarina of Time is the same Ganondorf from Wind Waker.
also the Ganondorf isn't the same age either when he gets sealed. I'm poking plot holes into the Zelda thing. Is it
Okay,
maybe
well,
it's know what it could be? Know what it could be? Maybe it's like when you first get there to the thing, it's like you have some options. It's like take the blue pill, you stay the same age. Take the red pill, you'll age while you're here, or something like that. Maybe that has to do with
Because
it.
Link was sealed within the Temple of Time, whereas Ganon was sealed by the power of the Triforce.
Oh my
maybe
gosh.
maybe these games aren't meant to be connected. Hot take.
You know, I think that's true. They're not meant to be connected
They
at
tried.
all. Yeah, for some stupid reason they try. Well, actually, I know why. They
I
knew
mean,
they'd sell a book.
like
That's why.
going from Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I mean, it does connect from there.
Except
Just
it
as a
doesn't.
split
Except
timeline.
it doesn't at all.
I mean, like Twilight Princess and Majora's Mask and Wind Waker all pick up after the events of Ocarina of Time. Like that's still in the
I
lore of those games.
Yeah, kinda. I feel like Twilight Princess is more of a tacked on thing than anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
they're just like, oh yeah, but like this, it's that building's the same. That fisherman guy, his grandpa.
Oh, you learned from this skeleton. He's probably Link. He's like, okay, whatever.
Okay,
So I
Well,
don't
that's what
know.
the people
totally
wanted
resembles
though,
him.
because people didn't like Wind Waker when it came out, and they wanted more Ocarina of Time. So they were like, okay, we'll do that.
Yo, I love Ocarina of Time. All right, with that being all said,
Other than that, I've just been watching some horror movies. I watched the new Borat movie.
Oh,
That was pretty terrifying.
I hate Borat. I
pretty.
hate the first movie so much.
Yeah,
It's pretty scary.
had
Scary
its
stuff.
moments.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our question of the week. Roger, can you hit us with the theme for the question of the week?
Bubba.
All right. And our question this week is, gentlemen, are biscuits and gravy a pizza?
No,
I don't understand.
because they're not a pie. It's not a pie.
I don't
Are
understand.
biscuits and gravy a pizza?
I cannot comprehend what you're asking. There's no.
A pizza's a pie. Biscuits gravy are not.
What the hell are you going on about?
Me?
Yeah.
A pizza is a pie. Biscuits and gravy are not a pie. So no.
Explain. Explain.
What do you mean?
What do you explain?
A pizza is a pie.
Okay, what makes it a pie?
It has the crust and then the toppings, and then it's a
I
pie.
don't
It's a
know.
pizza
I
pie.
don't know,
That's what they
Jake.
call it. It's a
I
pizza
know,
pie.
I
I'm
just
sorry.
Googled-
So you're telling me biscuits don't have a crust and a topping? Because I said biscuits and gravy.
It's
I
not
don't
a
know,
pie, though.
Jacob. I googled is pizza a pie, and Google's telling me no. So
Then why is it called a pizza pie?
Because people are stupid.
it says that's just the term, but a pizza cannot be considered pie.
Also, it's really weird that you went to that right away. That it's a pie.
I guess a pie has fillings, and a pizza has toppings. I guess that's what makes it different.
So, and that's what I'm saying. Biscuits and gravy.
Okay, so it says a deep dish pizza could be considered a pie, but a thin crust cannot.
Yes, you googled it too. Yeah, but that's what it says. The difference is a pie has fillings and a thing
In
and
Italian, the word pizza means pie.
yeah, but that's just us stealing languages. Like
Yeah, because pizza is an American thing.
you know how many like language
What?
we use
Did
incorrectly.
you say what? Yeah, the pizza that the quote pizza pie, that's from New York.
Yeah, we
Like,
don't use
that's
language
not
correctly at all on any languages we steal, which is all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, and then now we're going in a rabbit hole. Is pizza a pie or a tart?
Hold up, what's a tart? What's considered a tart?
Tart crusts are usually made from pastry dough.
I would call it a
Um,
tart. It's a tart.
So I guess, but still, that wouldn't make a biscuit a pizza, though.
Why is I said biscuits and gravy, and why is biscuits and gravy not a pizza? Now here's my logic to this.
But
On
a
a
pizza's
pizza,
a
what do you
tart.
got?
Confirmed.
What's the difference between a gelati and a pie? What?
So biscuits and gravy, you have the dough, right? And then you have the sauce, the gravy, and then usually you got some sausage in there. So there's your toppings. Now a pizza, you have the dough, you have a sauce, and then you have your toppings. Tell me how biscuits and gravy is not a pizza.
So are they both
I'm not
tarts?
going to answer because it's a stupid question.
So what? But that would mean they're both tarts. So pizza's technically a tart, and then. But I don't know because it's biscuits and gravy. You know what I mean? Like it's just a combo. It's just a 1-2
Yeah.
punch.
That's like,
But,
it's like getting a cracker and putting ketchup on it and calling that a pizza.
but that's not a pizza. That's not dough.
So
That's
it's
a
getting.
cracker.
So if you get dough and put a ketchup on it, is that a pizza?
I mean, yeah.
Or is it ketchup and dough?
I mean, is pizza a pizza or is it sauce and dough?
So if you don't put a top on the pie, does that make it a pizza?
It needs a topping. Yeah, you
No.
can't just have.
No, I mean, like, if you don't put like the top crust on it, then the filling is just exposed. Is that a pizza then?
What do you mean the top crust on it? What?
Because a pie generally has crust over the top to keep the filling in. If you don't put the
Yeah.
top on there, is it a pizza?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's a tart.
Oh no, it's dark. I think there's an argument to be made that biscuits and gravy are equivalent to a pizza.
I don't think so. No.
If cereal is a soup, then biscuits and gravy are a pizza.
How?
I don't know. One requires a lot less of a jump than the other.
Yeah.
There's not that big of a jump. You have dough
You're
that
literally
you
jumping
bake.
words.
You have dough that you bake, and then you put toppings on it. You have a sauce, and you have toppings.
So
That is a pizza. It is a breakfast
is
pizza.
a muffin a pizza?
There's no
No.
sauce.
A muffin
If we
is
frost it.
a muffin is a
What?
pie.
Yeah, a muffin's a pie because there's
Okay.
filling on the inside.
Okay. What about cupcake?
There's no sauce.
You got frosting.
That's not a sauce.
It can be.
No, it's not.
Wait,
All
what's
right,
the
we're
song?
gonna move on. We're moving on from this. I seriously thought of that question today and just busted out laughing because it was so stupid.
It is very stupid.
It is very dumb. All right.
Actually, did Jake from that question?
I stand by pizza's a pie.
I mean, it's a pizza pie.
Yeah.
So I
Pizza
think that's the
pie.
thing is it's a pizza pie, but it's not a pie.
It's not a
If that
pie.
makes sense.
Well, then biscuits and gravy are not a pizza pie.
I
That's
agree
fair.
with that.
I can live with that.
That's fair.
I think they're in their own. They're in a league of their own.
All right. I mean, we could start talking. No. We'll leave it. We'll leave it at that. All right. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the news.
Oh my god, you've actually put this in.
Yeah, I did. Roger, hit us with the news theme. Actually, Roger, whoa, what is that? Breaking news. Hit us with the breaking news theme. Go. Breaking news over at the Gaming Block Podcast. Breaking news. Today it is confirmed that Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII has a confirmed draw size of a Japanese 370, which is roughly the size 32 triple D. Final Fantasy VII Remake is Game of the Year.
I wish I would have never sent you that article.
Do we have any comments about this news? Breaking news.
Yeah, Jake's the one that sent that article. Hold up.
Yeah, he said that to me today.
I saw it on my Twitter timeline. I was like, huh, well, that's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was like, well,
2 weeaboos. I thought it was just one.
dude, Jake's the weeaboo, not me, man.
I know.
Like,
I don't even like Final Fantasy VII.
what? So good though. You
Never
beat
played
it. You beat it.
I beat the remake.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine until like halfway through, and then I was just like, what is this game?
Mm-hmm. I told you got to beat the first one first. Like that game does not make sense halfway through unless you have to beat.
I needed an interpreter to figure out the end.
Yeah, I know.
I knew Zach.
Isn't that how every Final Fantasy is though?
No. Most Final Fantasies you can just play without knowing.
I don't play those games. I only watch the.
This isn't a Final Fantasy VII remake either. It's a reimagining.
Yeah.
It's a lie.
The remake is they're remaking the timeline, which upset me because I wanted just a remake. But
Yeah.
when is Andrew gonna be once? All right, now for the real first breaking news story.
We got a pretty solid remake of the intro sequence.
Yeah, that was cool. Like that's my favorite part of the game is the intro where you're doing the little raid or whatever. It's so cool. But for real, that was a joke. We don't care about broad sizes. Our real first breaking story news and only breaking story news is from PC Gamer, written by Andy Chalk. This had broke like 3 hours ago, and I didn't want to like put it in the whole docket, so I put it here. Quote: Far Cry 6, the upcoming trip to the fictional nation of Yara has been delayed. Ubisoft announced during today's Q2 earnings report that as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, it will be moved to the 2021-22 year. The upcoming Rainbow Six spinoff, Rainbow Six Quarantine, has also been delayed to the same period. End
Poor
quote.
choice of title there.
Poor choice of title. Far Cry 6 is a sixth mainline Far Cry game dating back to the original Far Cry released on PC in 2004 by Crytek. Its most recent release, Far Cry 5, was set in modern-day Montana during a religious cult's takeover. Far Cry New Dawn, a pseudo-sequel, was released last year to tepid reviews. Rainbow Six Siege Quarantine is the sequel to 2015's Rainbow Six Siege. After a rough launch and numerous updates, Rainbow Six Siege has quickly become one of the most popular games in the world. So I figured I'd throw this in, just some big games getting delayed, which is interesting because if you recall, Watch Dogs was also delayed. Ubisoft has been delaying a lot of their games, except Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, no one cares about Assassin's Creed.
I mean
they don't. People like the series, but Ubisoft, I think they just know that it's like their Call of Duty. They can release it every year, and no one cares.
Well, actually, they release it every other year now.
Oh yeah,
well,
they did
really
that.
excited for Valhalla. It's probably one of the more hyped up Assassin's Creed.
I mean, doesn't look like an assassin game anymore, but okay.
I think that's why everybody's really liking them. It's because they're branching out.
I played some Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it was good. Like it's a lot different. It's an RPG. It's an open world RPG now.
I've been wanting to get back into the games because they're so different. I think that's why they're doing so well.
I'll just stick with Ezio.
Yeah. All right, Nintendo boy over there with your trilogy.
He's waiting for Assassin. That's what it is, Roger. Assassin's Creed hasn't released on Switch yet.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
yeah. So he just doesn't even acknowledge it. Yeah, I know.
Four
Not the
and
new ones.
4 and
3
no 3 and it was the other one
Rogue.
Rogue.
Liberation. Oh, Rogue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gotcha.
this
Gotcha.
guy
Yeah.
doesn't even have Unity yet. That's how far behind he is.
that's okay. I don't want to play Unity ever.
Hey,
Nobody
I got
wants
it in
to
here
play
if you ever
Unity.
want to play it.
That's why everybody likes these new ones because it's not like those.
That's why I stopped playing. I saw Unity and I was like, all right, that
Dude,
4 was
okay,
good. I'm done.
I didn't know they were coming out with I didn't know they announced a Far Cry 6. To be honest with you, like I assumed they were making it, but like I
Oh
didn't know
yeah,
that
no,
was
that game
announced.
was announced a while ago, and it looks. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Far Cry, Ubisoft really takes a ball out of one bucket and throws into the other. They're not doing annualized Assassin's Creed anymore, but now we've gotten a Far Cry game like every single year.
Dude,
Because like
they-
last year was the
The
what
New
was it
Dawn.
called? New Dawn, and the year before that was 5, and the year before that was Primal, and the year before that was 4, and the year before that was I think like was it
Blood
that
Dragon.
Blood Dragon? Like they're doing this yearly thing, and it's getting already tired. Blood Dragon's
I,
great.
I will say if you haven't seen this stuff about 6, the bad guy's going to be the drug lord from Breaking Bad,
oh,
the one that owns the Pollo Hermanos.
yeah. Dude, I'd play that
And then
game.
apparently there's theory that the kid you play as is like a younger version of Zaz from 3, but I don't know about that.
No, I don't like that. I don't know. Far Cry's kind of lost me, honestly.
Yeah.
5 kind of pissed me off, and then they did New Dawn, and then like kind of what Andrew said, where they like kind of copy and pasted it, literally the
Mhm.
map and then the game mechanics from Assassin's Creed, and
Mhm.
it just pissed me off so much. So I'm kind of done with Far Cry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
I will say I thought it was kind of funny because when you're talking about Far Cry 6 and then you said the upcoming Rainbow Six spinoff, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like, Far Cry is it a Rainbow Six spinoff? Is it
the
the Tom Clancy
Ubisoft
series?
the Ubisoft extended universe.
I mean, hey, you joke about it.
Oh, I know it could
Yeah.
happen.
We could have Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and Watch Dogs in the same universe. It could easily happen.
Yikes. No, thank you.
Just put a Templar in there.
All right. Do you guys have any more comments about that story?
I don't really care about either of those games.
Screw Far Cry.
All right, screw Far Cry. Sounds good. Our first real story of the week, though, is a big one. Cyberpunk 2077 is delayed again. Our first story comes from courtesy of Engadget, written by Igor Bonifaciuk.
Just skip.
I hope
Yeah,
I said
Igor.
it right. It seems like we will need to be waiting just a little bit longer to experience CD Projekt Red's newest open world RPG. Cyberpunk 2077, based on the tabletop game with the same name, was slated to come out on November 19th, but now that release date has been pushed back 21 days to December 10th. This news comes on the back of reports by Bloomberg that the studio had recently shifted into a quote crunch quote mode, where employees were forced to work every Saturday leading up to the game's launch. It seems that this mandatory crunch is still in effect, even with the game's most recent delay. When all is said and done, this will be Cyberpunk's third major delay. Its initial release was set for April 16th, 2020, but that was quickly moved to September 17th to a September 17th release. In June, the team delayed it again to November 19th, and now its final release date is on December 10th, behooving any more delays. Cyberpunk 2077 was announced all the way back in May of 2012, making its dev cycle around 8 to 9 years.
Dude, that's crazy.
What do you think, Roger? That's crazy.
Uh,
What do you think's going on with this game? Because
hold up. I got a quick question. I thought Cyberpunk was a book.
I think it is a
No.
book too. I think it has a book, but it's originally a tabletop game,
Yeah, it's
and it
based
also has like a.
Was it really originally a tabletop game? I didn't know that. I thought it was a book.
I think there is a video game like on DOS for it.
No joke. Didn't know that.
Mhm. Yep. Um, before so the reasoning they gave for this was that they wanted to make the current gen consoles run well. There some like there are
Yeah.
problems with the current gen versions, and they even said in like their little letter or whatever, like, we're bringing this game to 9 different platforms, and they put like PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, Xbox One X. You know, they were really trying to just like make it seem like, oh, this is such a big task. And personally, this is the third big delay, and this game's been in development for so long. I am of the belief now that this game is in serious trouble. Like there's something bad going on with this game.
I think they need to just stop announcing a release date for it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's
just
just like it's out when it's out.
just drop it when it's done.
It's just on the store shelves one day.
Didn't they go gold?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the game's done. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I think something is broken about this game
So
because it went gold like 2 weeks ago.
is this whole
Because the
thing
thing, it's
like
interesting you
one
say
big
that they're
deal
trying to
like that?
optimize it for current gen because originally they had delayed it to post launch of the new gen consoles that are coming out because they wanted it to have special enhancements before they got the full enhancements out. And now it's like the other way around.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point is like they're kind of changing their story now. And there's that whole thing about like they're doing crunch, but it was only going to be for like 4 weeks, but now it seems like they're going to keep crunching until December 10th. Like they didn't say, "Oh, because of this we're going to stop
No
crunching."
Thanksgiving for you.
Seems like no.
Just
So
Cyberpunk.
but yeah,
Keanu Reeves is in there watching over everyone, making sure it gets done.
I don't know. I just got a bad feeling about this game. I think it's
Yeah.
overhyped, and I think The Witcher 3 was a great game, but I think it was an anomaly. Witcher 1 and 2 were good, but they weren't
No,
great.
the first one was garbage. I don't care what you say.
I
First
think
one was
I'll just stand back and stand by and to see the reviews.
I'm kind of with Jake. I mean, I don't know about. I'll probably just wait until it comes out and then kind of like hold my judgment for then and try not to get my
Hmm.
hopes up too high or too low or anything. Like I still kind of got high hopes for it and everything, but I mean, it just I don't know. It's just gonna have to wait and see how it turns out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a 9-year dev cycle is ridiculously long.
And the fact that they already went
Like,
gold
Well, they
and
put
they
it aside to do The Witcher 3, right? Or
I think they're
they were
developing.
doing it in tandem.
Yeah, hmm
Okay.
yeah, they're big enough there that they're probably doing Witcher 4 or whatever right now,
Oh
also.
my god!
you know what?
But
Watch Witcher 4 get announced and released before Cyberpunk comes out.
Just scrap Cyberpunk and release Witcher 4.
What?
I said just get rid of Cyberpunk and release Witcher 4. Screw it. Just scrap it.
Just put
Yeah,
Geralt as the main character in Cyberpunk.
mod him in.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what? In Cyberpunk, you can be whatever you want to be. So I
it's
choose
true.
to
And it's a
be.
first-person game, so who cares?
I know that's so many things weird about this game, but we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, I'm cautiously watching, but everyone's saying like this is a shoe-in game of the year and stuff. I'm not so certain anymore.
Yeah, it's
It'll be the
definitely.
next Skyrim.
Oh yeah, Skyrim. But like,
Skyrim's our next Skyrim. What are you talking about?
yeah, what are you talking about? Skyrim for PS5 is coming. You watch yourself.
I mean, we're getting Grand Theft Auto again, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It's true. It's true. All right. Well,
Grand
moving
Theft
on
Auto
to our
5's had 3 PlayStations, and PlayStation 2 had 3 Grand Theft Autos.
That is a fact. He's not wrong. All right, moving on to our next story. People have PS5s and have already released videos and articles about hands-on impression. This story comes from Stephen Talby over at Push Square. Sony has sent out its newest console to media influencers along with the accessories and games. Multiple personalities over the week have been posting videos and pictures of their newly acquired PS5, ranging from famous sports players, singers, and of course, famous gamers and news outlets. Like with all early impressions, what the influencers can say is under embargo. So far, we have seen some unboxing videos, controller impressions, and a little gameplay from that Astros Playroom, I think it's called, the pack-in
Yes.
game. This news comes a couple of weeks after it was seen that Xbox had sent out its consoles to media and influencers. The PS5 is set to hit markets on November 12th, 2020. Um, yeah, so
I think I was just thought of something funny when you said multiple personalities. I just imagined it was just one person with multiple personalities posting videos about it.
but yeah, I thought I know we were talking about Xbox having released its console or not released it, but they had been giving it out to everybody. Everyone was tweeting it out, and I think we had unboxing videos like the day everyone was getting it, and it kind of seemed like people were just willy-nilly doing everything. The PS5 one seems a little more tight-lipped. They let unboxing videos come out Tuesday, I believe, and then there were some like impressions of the controller coming out today. So I kind of like what Sony's doing
Yeah,
here, and I
it's
wanted,
really odd because yeah, like you're saying, all the accessories are releasing tomorrow.
yeah, I saw my bank today. I was like, oh, I got charged like $200. Oh
Right.
yeah, the accessories are coming out. So, yeah, it's interesting and it's weird, but I guess they're just doing that to clear shipment space or something. I don't know. I mean, there's no bad reason to get them now, I guess. Like, you could just have it ready. You don't have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about it shipping or arriving on time or anything. So,
It's not like you can use that PS5 controller on anything else.
PC, you can plug it in. Yeah.
Well,
And actually,
look at me, a fool.
fun tidbit, any USB controller works with the PS3. So technically, the PS5 controller does work with the PlayStation 3.
And on the Switch.
Dude, we can just get
So you
the
could-
original Demon Souls and play it on the PS5 controller.
There you go. We don't even need to screw the
Yeah.
remake. We got Demon Souls already.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, my 2 games I'm getting at launch is going to be Miles Morales and Demon Souls. And I got the deluxe edition, which comes with Spider-Man, which I already own, and I already own Demon Souls. So I'm really just getting kind of like
Next gen, Jake's getting
all the same games.
It's like last gen all over again with all the remakes and remasters. Roger, do you have anything to say about this? What I put this news story in because I guess not we, because we just started this podcast, but people for so long, and even us in the beginning episodes, were talking about how Sony was really dropping the ball with everything. Xbox was ahead of everything. They showed the console first. They showed the price first. They got it to influencers first. They showed the game store first. They showed everything first. And now here we are 14 days away from release. And it seems like the last couple of weeks, everyone's just been talking about PlayStation and not Xbox anymore. Xbox is kind of
Well, hey. Xbox has got the fridge.
Yeah, they're promoting a fridge right now. So like
I like the commercial. It was power your games, power your memes.
Yeah, my homies love the fridge.
I don't know. I think PlayStation's doing it right now. What do you guys think?
I mean, PlayStation doesn't have a fridge.
That's true. Imagine not having a fridge.
Honestly, like, I think that's gonna be like the new game console standard. Is every release is gonna have a fridge version of it now.
I like it, dude. I'll start collecting fridges. I don't care.
You see your fucking kitchen with like 12 fridges in it.
The year is 2035. I have more fridges than rooms.
You got your Halo fridge and your God of War fridge.
Dude, that'd be cool. Oh, you know
Special
what?
edition Xbox Series X fridges.
Oh my gosh, guys! I forgot a news story. We should insert it right now.
Okay.
Special breaking news! Breaking news! Oh shit! Wait, I gotta look it up. I don't remember what it is. All right, you said Halo, and it reminded me the lead director for Halo Infinite left. He's gone.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, like
What happened?
What a story!
That game's fucked.
That game's so messy.
And what was it? It was supposed to come out what like in 2 weeks? It was supposed to come out?
It's supposed to come out in like 10 days.
So that's cool.
Yeah, that came in.
They got the guy from what was it? One of the original writers from the old Halo team back.
Super late in development. Like they got it basically done. Like that game.
So I feel like they're just gonna like the little rocket button in like Mario Maker where they hit it and it just like wipes everything and they're just gonna start over.
Yep.
It's gonna be like
a
a
call Halo
version of Justice League, and then like 2 years later we're gonna be like wanting a Snyder version of Halo.
Xbox does feel like the DCEU right now. Like they got some hits, but a lot of it's just a jumbled up mess.
I don't think anyone's going to be calling for this version of Halo.
I don't know.
I mean, it looks fine.
It's probably not even a game anymore.
Yeah, it's just an MMO now.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be. They're just gonna release Halo Wars 3 to tide us over.
But wasn't it the multiplayer that went free to play? I hate that. I hate that so much.
Oh yeah, and then they said that we were gonna, instead of having different color options, it was gonna be like Destiny where you had to like purchase different color like
I just want
editions or something like that.
Just give me a Halo.
The armor colors were fragmented.
Hard to be a Halo fan nowadays.
You know, I was talking to someone on Twitter, as I do when this news broke, and they were being like, "Oh, well, we need Halo Infinite to tie over the story," and I was like, "Bro, we finished the
story
fight.
We finished the fight in 2007.
Like the story was, because what I said was Halo should have pulled an Uncharted and just stopped.
Yeah,
like Microsoft has been dragging along this corpse for the last 4 generations now.
They could have continued just doing spinoffs, and that would have been fine.
Well, not even that.
Just ODST and Reach were great.
They could have just put it away. I don't know why Microsoft is so scared to put away their
Listen,
old franchises.
this was all Bungie's fault for putting a legendary ending in Halo 3. They could have just said he was dead.
I mean, Mass Effect did that, but you didn't see Mass Effect 4 come out with Shepard because that had an ending where Shepard lived.
Well,
But there
listen,
wasn't
that wasn't Mass Effect 4 though. That was Mass Effect Andromeda.
that has nothing to do with Shepard. That's different.
Exactly.
That would be like doing
ODST and Reach had nothing to do with.
And you know what? And actually, Mass Effect's a great example of this. You know what Mass Effect did? They went away. They released a spinoff. It wasn't that good, and now you haven't heard anything about them.
But that's the difference though, is that the spinoffs for Halo were great.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like Mass Effect, they kind of kicked and screamed before they got put down.
Okay,
Three was as well received as 1 and 2, and then Andromeda was kind of a bomb.
Andromeda
you know what?
wasn't
I
a
still
bomb.
argue to this day that 3 is still a really good Mass Effect game, and
3 is one of the best ones. Anyone
As someone who hasn't played them, that's saying like the public perception of those games is they kind of lost quality as they went. And
hard.
I don't agree at all. I don't agree at all. Because 2 is way better than 1. And then honestly, 3...
I said they peaked with 2, and then it just kind of went downhill from there.
But there's only 3 of them.
Yeah, well,
and then I would argue that 3
really
is...
good Mass Effect game.
I think 3 is just as good as 2, honestly.
Honestly, with the ending of them patching the thing up, letting you see the endings and stuff, like...
And then with the DLC as well.
Like 2 has a really good third act, and I think that's what makes people put it up so far up in their minds, because the 2's final mission and its whole third act is really good. But 3 still like gets so many conclusions to everybody's story arc throughout the different missions in that game.
Yeah.
And some of the hardest decisions I ever had to make was in 3. So I still think 3 is a really good game.
Like 3, you learn about Tali's race and what happens to them. Oh, so sorry about that. But like, yeah, 3 at the end of it, you get a resolution to literally every single storyline that you've done. And I know you haven't played the game, so you don't know this, but like, I'm more talking about the people that complained.
Listen, I made the correct choice of playing 3 first.
Actually, it's funny you say that. 3 was the first one that I played because I didn't play the whole game. I played the demo of 3, and then I was like, well, I gotta experience this from the beginning. And now it's one of my favorite franchises ever. But like 3, I think the beginning is such a good game to start with, just that opening mission, because it's like, what the fuck is happening and what is going on? And like,
you had like a real life version where like you like witnessed the ending in just like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 48 hours before D-Day or whatever. So, but yeah, I think Microsoft, the best thing they could have done, it's too late now.
But the thing is, the problem with Microsoft though with Halo is it wasn't just another game, it was their game. It was like the Mario of their system.
But so was Crash was the game for PlayStation.
But it wasn't owned by Sony. That's the difference.
Okay, Uncharted was the game for PlayStation.
But now they have a lot of other games where Microsoft doesn't.
That's what I'm saying, though. Microsoft is so scared to get other games. Sony made Horizon, and they're like, okay, we can make Horizon our new Uncharted, so we can put Uncharted back.
Even this generation, we barely got any Halo representation other than a compilation disc and 5.
We got Halo Wars 2. You shut your mouth.
Yeah, you got Halo Wars 2 also.
That doesn't count.
But it's representation. Like, it's something that they're doing.
And then we got more Gears, and Forza. That's all it is. Just Gears, Forza, Halo. Gears, Forza, Halo.
I mean, this is the problem with Microsoft, honestly. It's just they're the same thing every single time. Now, granted, they have bought all these different studios, so we're going to start seeing a lot of different things. But that's not... Microsoft is such a fake company because they don't make ideas. They just take other people's and rebrand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, that was the thing with Halo. That was supposed to be a Mac game. And then they just bought Bungie. Or they didn't buy Bungie, but they like struck a deal with them for exclusivity for 3 games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we could talk. We've been down this rabbit hole before, but
I still am shocked they didn't buy Bungie because they totally could have, especially back when Halo 1 was a thing. Like, because they were not in a good spot.
Activision couldn't even buy Bungie, so
maybe but the thing is, by the time like they were Halo All Stars, there was no buying Bungie. But back when they were on the cusp of the Myth 2 controversy and they were struggling with for finances to finish Halo, this game that was supposed to be a third-person isometric strategy game that turned into a first-person shooter, like it's insane. Like they totally would have taken a buyout back then.
Probably, yeah.
Or even after Halo 1 success, they could have easily been bought out.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. Especially since Microsoft was like buying Nintendo things back then.
Oh yeah, they bought Rare.
Yeah,
That
so
worked
who
out.
knows? But anyways, yeah, that's the PS5 is in people's hands now. So
Oh yeah, Halo. And when's Halo coming to the PlayStation?
2022.
Okay.
All right. Next story. Inverted update for Mario 3D All Stars.
It's upside down now.
Mario 3D All Stars has a new update coming out that adds inverted control options. Why was this not at launch with the game? Why is Nintendo so incompetent? They anger me. That's the story.
I mean, I'm just assuming it just since it wasn't in the original games, they just
Yeah, it was.
put it in. Was it?
Sunshine is inverted.
Oh, so they changed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what angers me. The original game was fucking inverted. And they changed it and didn't give us the fucking option.
That was a good change because I actually could play the game better and I didn't realize it. So I like that.
But options.
Yes, I know. I'm fine. I'm not saying like this is a bad update. I'm just saying I didn't notice.
It's just more incompetence by Nintendo. Like, I don't know what's wrong with them the last year and year and a half, but something's wrong. Ever since they released the new Luigi's Mansion game, they have not been the same.
It's always Luigi. It always starts with him.
Wah.
You're Luigi. Remember that? Wii U.
I know. They killed them. Killed them. Roger, do you play inverted?
No.
No, nobody plays inverted.
You're so quiet now.
Oh my gosh, that was like a mouse.
I could tell you were like talking loud too, but it was like down the hall and to the left.
I don't know. I didn't talk loud. I just kind of got close to the mic. No, the only time I'm playing inverted is on flight controls.
Oh my god.
Well, I play inverted sometimes. So.
I play inverted for flight games. That's about it.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
And Mario.
Okay.
Mario?
Yeah, I mean, the Mario's that it's inverted naturally, so.
Oh, I don't know. I never played Sunshine, so maybe that's why.
That's probably why. All right, moving on to our next real story. That was just Andrew's story. Destruction All Stars is delayed to 2021. I wanted to call it 3D All Stars. This story comes from Game Informer, written by Joe Jibba. One of Sony's launch games has been pushed out of its release date. Destruction All Stars was intended to release alongside the console on November 12th, but has now been pushed to release sometime in February. Along with this new release date, Sony also mentioned that subscribers to PlayStation Plus will be receiving the $69.99 game for free, an uncommon but not unheard of move. Back in 2015, Rocket League was released for free on PlayStation Plus when it was released on PS4, and more recently, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout was a free PS Plus game on release. Both of these games became massive multiplayer successes. Destruction All Stars will be by far the most expensive free game given out at launch with its $70 price tag. Destruction All Stars is being developed by XDev, an internal Sony studio, and Lucid Games, who reside in Liverpool. That's over across the pond, boys. Lucid Games is known for developing Geometry Wars 3 in 2014, Goat Simulator in 2015, and Need for Speed Payback in 2017, which was co-developed with Ghost Games.
It's kind of a jump in titles there.
Yeah, they went from Goat Simulator to Need for Speed.
It's like, well, we see on your resume here, you did Ghost Simulator. That was pretty impressive work. We'll give you Needs for Speed.
Yeah,
okay.
When I was first reading this, I was like, wait, what? Geometry Wars, Ghost Simulator? Why are these guys making this game? And then I saw Need for Speed. I was like, driving. Okay, that makes sense. Like, it didn't make sense until that right there.
Also, is it going to be like, are they saying that's going to be the PlayStation Plus game of the month, or is it just going to be free with PlayStation Plus?
That's the month. It's the game of the month.
Oh, well, that's
Destruction All Stars.
We lost a game because of that.
Lost the game. Well, there's no games. I mean, there's no games for them to give out free yet. So I mean,
they could just give us Miles Morales. You know, why not? That's the free game of the month for November.
So what I actually looked this up on Amazon. I know this isn't like official sales charts or anything, but it's kind of indicative of how people are feeling and buying games. But I went to the PS5 games on like top pre-orders, and Destruction All Stars was like number 23. It was below Fortnite. So
I mean, that's the thing. It's a game that looks like it should be free to play. I thought it was going to be free to play. I'm shocked that it was a $70 game. I just don't think anyone would have bought it.
I don't know about free to play, but definitely like $40, $35, not $70.
I mean, it looks like a game that's going to be riddled with microtransactions, like a Fortnite or Rocket League. So that's why I expect it to be free, or at least $20 like Rocket League used to be.
Why do you think they're delaying it?
I don't know. Probably just something wasn't working out with servers, so they're just gonna move it and then give it
Because
free.
you think it was a technical thing? I think
Um,
they're moving it, but just because they thought like no one's gonna buy it or play it.
I mean,
Like
it could be that too.
when PS5 launches, people are going to be playing Call of Duty online and Fortnite online and things like that, and then they're going to be playing Spider-Man and Sackboy and whatever.
And I wonder if they also just didn't want to overload their servers on launch with so much multiplayer going on
Yeah.
with a game that's exclusively multiplayer, especially with Fortnite launching on it. I mean, everyone's going to be playing Fortnite launch day.
Oh, of course, yeah. People are getting the PS5 to get that ray tracing Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. I'll be playing on right next to you on my PlayStation 5, and you'll be on the Switch still, and it's going to be night and day, literally.
Literally, yeah. Roger, what do you think about all this?
Sounds cool, man.
All right, Roger, you're gonna have to like fuck the mic because you are so you can't hear you.
I don't got anything to say. It's like, okay, that's cool. Destruction All Stars delay. Who
Well,
cares?
you're getting a PlayStation, right, Roger?
I'm not getting shit for a while. I'll decide what I'm getting when I can get something. I don't know. It depends. It kind of depends on what everybody else gets, I guess. I don't know. I haven't actually.
I mean,
getting-
we're all getting PlayStations, so
Yeah, we're getting PlayStations
You
up
guys
here,
are,
so you know.
but I know other people that are getting stuff. I mean, it's hard because I've always stuck to Xbox, but
I mean, we're missing out on Spider-Man, your favorite superhero,
yeah,
and Harry Potter.
dude.
That's coming out on Xbox too. Honestly, though, Roger, everything is crossplay now, so you just kind of get what you want.
Yeah.
Except
So-
Spider-Man.
Except
I'll just come to
Spider-Man,
your
of course.
place to play Spider-Man.
Even if you wanted to get Avengers, you don't get Spider-Man.
Twip, twip.
I'll just come to your place and play Spider-Man. It's fine.
Oh yeah, come to our place, please.
All right. Well, moving on to our next story, we have lots of PlayStation news courtesy of PlayStation Blog. So much PlayStation this week. I'm telling you, they're just unloading before release.
Oh, also, I guess a little extra little tidbit of news. I guess Best Buy is doing this. I don't know how many other places are doing it, but on launch day, if you had one sent to the store, you have to schedule a pickup time to come get it. They're not letting you just walk in and get it.
I did see that actually.
I think it's the same way with the Xbox as well.
Yeah, both Xbox and PlayStation. And when you do schedule it, they like automatically have the date set for not launch day. So make sure you change the date.
Yeah, so like it's defaulted to Xbox's release date. So if you're trying to schedule a pickup for PlayStation, it defaults to the 10th of November instead of the 12th.
Oh, that's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, good interjection. I'm gonna let everyone know that.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the story. So lots of PlayStation news courtesy of PlayStation Blog. There's a game in here that actually there's two games I want to talk about with you guys. And I'll see. I want to see if you guys can figure out which one is it. But starting off, PlayStation Blog dropped a ton of information on the 28th, all relating to games coming out on PS5. First off, No Man's Sky, that's a game you guys play, is getting a free PS5 upgrade, which will come with, quote, enhanced visuals, audio, and more, end quote.
So it was like, what, 25 player or 32 player multiplayer?
So other perks include haptic feedback, fuller worlds, quicker load times, 4K at 60 FPS, and most interestingly, multiplayer that now can have up to 32 players at once. Hello Games also confirmed that save data will cross over from whatever gen you have to the
It's
next.
very impressive they went from 0 multiplayer to 32 player multiplayer.
That is pretty impressive. Other stories told us new release dates. Tribes of Midgar, a co-op survival action RPG, will be coming to PS5 in 2021. Haven, a romance RPG with a cel-shaded style visual, will be releasing on December 3rd. And Bug Snacks will be PS5's first free PS Plus game offered at launch.
Oh my god.
Finally, another release date was given. This one is for Temtem, which is coming to PS5 in an early access form on December 8th. Now, if Temtem sounds familiar, it's because it was shown off earlier this year during a Sony presser. It's that Pokemon-esque MMORPG. Quote, after 8 months on PC and over 19 million Tems games, we'll talk about that, Temtem is making its console debut. The game will feature crossplay between PS5 and PC, end quote.
Look at PlayStation all getting in with the crossplay.
Early access will give players access to 4 of the 6 main islands in a campaign that lasts upwards to 30 hours. The entire campaign is co-op, and since the game is always online, other players can be seen and interacted with around the world, with the ability to trade, battle, or chat at any point. The standard edition for the game retails at $39.99, with the so-called deluxe edition also available at $59.99. PlayStation players who decide to pre-order early will be offered a slight discount at $37.49 for standard and $57.49 for the deluxe. Now, if you guys remember Temtem, that's that Pokemon game.
Yeah, guys, can we become Temtem Masters together?
I mean, yeah, it sounds like what I've always wanted Pokemon to be.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all. Tim.
Like Nintendo, this is kind of always just it's always going back to what I'm saying is that Nintendo is falling behind. And I know Nintendo doesn't own Pokemon, but Nintendo definitely can tell Pokemon Company like, yo, you gotta do something about
Step
this.
it up.
That's the thing, though. Like, I wonder if they're scared. Is if they try to interject with Game Freak, that they'll just be like, "I'll just go to PlayStation."
No, they won't, because they could have. You don't think if Game Freak hasn't by now, they're not going to.
So I think they got like a Yakuza-like leader over at Game Freak that just sits there and is like, "Yeah, we know what we're doing. Can't tell us what to do.
I
We'll
don't think
leave."
they know what they're doing. Remember that town game? That was a disaster.
Oh no, that was a wonderful
That game was broken.
Everyone
and
plays town.
terrible. Like
That was the talk of the town when
I
town
honestly
came
believe
out.
that they just don't know how to make games over there. Like honestly,
I mean,
don't think they do.
I don't know if I don't think they know how to make 3D games. Because every Pokemon, all the 2D Pokemon games were fine. Even like Gen 5, which people weren't as happy with. Those are still solid games. And then when they went 3D, that's when it was like it became really
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think Pokemon works better in a stylized 2D world than it does in a bland 3D environment.
Okay.
I don't agree
but,
with
like-
that, but I'll agree with the fact that the 30 games haven't been up to snuff lately. I don't think that.
Because they've all been using the same exact models in every single game.
Yeah, and that's why Gen 6
I know they said they
was
used new
probably
ones in the new
bad
games, but they didn't.
because I thought Gen 6 was really well done, but Gen 7, yeah, it's been pretty bad.
Just some designs also I don't think really work in 3D. Like especially I always think of Typhlosion. He looks so cool in all the 2D games, and then you get to put him in 3D and looks like this weird like banana.
I don't know, but I think some of them work really well in 3D. I think I will say it's weird though. They have not been up to par lately. Let's just become Temtem Masters, guys.
Mhm.
Let's just become the Temtem.
But there's another thing too. I was playing some that. I'm sorry to interject, but like I think the 3D ones, the ones that had the benefit of starting out in 3D, look fine. But it also like I was playing Sword and Shield and I got this one. It was like Toxtricity, and I was like, this doesn't even look like a Pokemon.
I mean, granted, they've done over 1,000, so
They've done some.
Yeah,
there's been some weird Pokemon designs all the way back to like the first gen. Like
yeah.
some of that just kind of have to accept.
no, Grimer and Voltorb are fine. Don't
I'm
bring them
not. I'm
into
talking about
this.
Machoke. It's a literal bodybuilder. How's that a Pokemon?
What about Machamp, huh?
It's just
Yo.
Machoke with another set of arms.
That's how evolution works.
I'm just saying, like as far as design
It's just
goes,
like with
that's not
Magnemite,
a
you just get
Pokemon
2
either.
more.
It's just a tough dude at the
Dude.
gym.
They literally have a fucking butterfly as one. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know if this has ever been like the most creative.
No, I'm not saying that like the designs are bad. It just doesn't. It did just feel out of place in the same world as like
Yeah.
if you set like a Gen 1 Pokemon next to it, you're like, how did we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
here?
I understand that. I just with
There seems to be a lack of
I
consistency
think
with
you're full
the
baloney,
designs
Jake.
of
You're full
Pokemon.
baloney.
Huh? I will say, like, even when you hit Gen 4, there seems that like Gen 1, 2, and 3, they all seem to gel well, but then Gen 4 hit, and they're kind of like, okay, now Pokemon are starting to look
Jake,
different.
don't you talk bad on my platinum, all right? I will fight you.
No, I like Gen 4, but that was, I think, the start of Pokemon to kind of take on a new art
For me, it was
style.
Gen 5. Gen 5
I think it
design,
was like Ken Sugimori. I think dropped off after 2.
dude.
I think it became really noticeable at when Gen 4 hit.
Dude, I love Gen 2, but those games are trash.
You
I
take
agree.
I love them, but they're trash.
They're not trash. You take
No,
it
they're
back.
so trash. Hard Gold and Soul Silver are so much better. It's not even funny. Like I can't go back and play Gen 2.
About this Temtem game, I found it interesting that they said after 8 months on PC, over 19 million Tems have been tamed. I'm assuming the Tems are the Pokemon in this universe. Now,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming if you
I just think of Timmy from
I'm assuming
Undertale.
that if you played this game, you've probably caught more than 19 Pokemon, because that's not a lot. So the player base seems pretty low already, like sub a million. I don't know if PS5 is really going to set this.
Oh, I think it will. I think if it goes console, it'll blow up.
You think
Like
so?
I'll get it on console. Yeah, where I don't have it on PC.
I think if they market it right, it could definitely, especially like if it's coming out close to launch when there's
True. It's
not
true.
as many games available to play. I think that's a prime time to insert your game into a new console
Yeah,
launch.
I agree. And also doing this early access thing where they have 4 of the 6 islands open, and then like they kind of, you get the opportunity to do 2 launches. You have the early access launch, and then you can be like, all right, here's our real launch with all the things and all the islands and stuff.
Mhm.
So you kind of get that bump again.
And it being a PlayStation exclusive also gives it kind of a talking point about it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it makes it like instead of releasing it, on Switch and Xbox and PlayStation and PC, when it's on one console, that gets people to be like, "Oh, this game."
Yeah, I agree.
Whether it's a console seller or not, it still gets people to talk
It's
about
another
it.
thing. Like
it scares Game Freak and making good games.
I hope so. That's really, I mean, that's the thing is Game Freak just needs some competition. They have no competition,
Mhm.
which is why they don't evolve, ironically. No pun intended.
I mean, like it's so appalling when you play something like Sword and Shield and you watch a character walk over to you and they stop, turn, and then continue moving and then stop and
Dude,
turn to face
that's
you.
not even the worst part. The worst part is when a character opens their mouth and scenes, and then nothing comes out, and it just text pops up.
Mhm.
I thought that was a glitch.
It's like there is like good animation in the game, but it's very selective when they want to use it. Like they just kind of half-ass the main game, and then there's like, oh, this scene we want to have good animation. The scene where you fist bump your Pokemon at the beginning, that looks good. And then it's just like you can't even like run properly. Like there's I think a scene with the legendary dog at the end of the game where he turns and it's a complete like 180 turn and he's just walking in place.
Yeah. That actually goes to show like how much those little animations make the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's the thing. Like you play Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and even like Sword and Shield, it does have like scenes where they put in the time and animation into it, and it's just like like you couldn't have just rigged a basic animation for someone turning
Dude,
around.
just do what they've been doing with the wild area.
They just pivot in
that
place.
Pokemon, right? Give me a Pokemon Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it just like I think if give us less monsters and more polish.
Yes, I don't even care about the
if that's
national
what it
dex being cut in half. That's what made everybody so mad. It's because they cut the national dex, but then they also like
Mhm.
didn't like the animations weren't like kind of like you said, it was hit or miss. I really don't
Oh yeah,
care
like I
about
mean, you
their
still like tail whip. They just turn around and then actual like just move the model back and forth instead of
because
animating
like I don't
them.
even care.
Because like it's just like you go back to GameCube on like XD Gale Darkness and what was it? It was like Genius Sonority that made those.
Yeah,
And there's actual animations for those
dude,
Pokemon.
those games.
And that was 2002.
They had every single Pokemon had an entrance animation, a fainting animation, and at least like 2 to 3 different attack animations, and them getting a hit animations.
and you
And
know
it was
why?
so
Mhm.
freaking cool.
Also, characters walked over to you like a normal human being and not a
Yes,
robot.
great.
Because those games went for quality over quantity. And this is
Oh,
one of
those
the big
games were
problems
so
with
good.
Pokemon 2 is that they feel the need, even though they're over 1,000 now, right?
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
yeah.
I think they're like 1,200 Pokemon or something like that.
And there's probably so much that goes into this. Obviously, you have the whole Pokemon card market, which is still big, and you have the subscriptions to the boxes and stuff. So there's a lot of monetary reasons why they want to make more Pokemon. But they keep focusing their time on making these new Pokemon. And when you ask any person in a fighting game how hard it is to balance 30 characters, how hard is it to balance 1,200? Like, it doesn't matter if you have repeats or not, they're still kind of different in some way. They're fucking themselves over so much by adding and adding and adding. If they stopped right now what they were and just started picking a random 100 and throwing them into a game, yeah, you're going to get the people online that bitch and complain. But at the end of the day, if your game runs better, it looks better, it's polished more, it's cleaned more, you're not spending so much time just balancing the game, I think that would make it better. And I think that's something that
I'd be fine with just like a complete and utter reboot with like just new Pokemon and don't even include the old ones. Like I'd be fine with that.
But we have to have Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, and Pikachu at the beginning
well,
of
it's
every
because it's
game.
nostalgia now. Those games sell. Kids like Pokemon still, but kids like a lot of
Mhm.
other things more than Pokemon. Minecraft is the new Pokemon. Like, kids want to buy
Yeah.
Minecraft for the 50th time than to buy Pokemon.
And Smash.
What?
Said
He's in
Smash.
Smash. Yeah, that's true. So they need that nostalgia because they know that people still buy it. I mean, I admit it. I'm a sucker. I don't like Pokemon. I bought Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu. I can't remember. I
Mhm.
bought Pokemon Sword because that little nostalgia there. Every time I think maybe I'll like this one like I liked the other ones. Every single
Right.
time it tricks me and I buy it. And you know, eventually I'm
Well,
going to have to stop, which I have. I didn't buy the 3DS ones except for X. But that's why they keep doing it, is because they're trying to dip into that nostalgia and be like, "Hey,
well,
look,
and they also
it's
got a fun core gameplay loop too. That's the ultimate triumph
Mhm.
of it. Is it's got such a triumphant gameplay core to it.
yeah, it's just everything else
And plus,
around that gameplay that's not up to snuff."
the thing is, Pokemon is to the point where like it can't fail. Like no matter what they put out,
I
it's
don't
gonna
agree
sell.
because we've seen, but
Like it's like I think it's too
we've
big
seen
to
behemoths
fail.
like that are quote too big to fail. Infinite Warfare failed. Like, things can be big and
Yeah,
crash and
Warfare
burn
felt
and
before
gone.
it started.
Mhm.
Like, a Pokemon game can pull an Infinite Warfare, and when you're running companies that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Pokemon's one of the most successful companies ever. I don't think the company itself can fail, but I think Pokemon itself can fail. One day, people will say, "What, that Pokemon, that thing from the '90s, that's 40 years old?" Like, people will say that one day, and if they don't iterate, because look at Mario. Mario's old, right? Zelda's old, right? Their games aren't the same every time. And they also try to improve on their games every time. You cannot look at Odyssey and say it's worse than Galaxy. And you can't look at Galaxy saying it's worse than Sunshine and Sunshine that it's worse than 64. But with Pokemon, you can
Mhm.
definitely say Gen 3 is better than Gen 5 and Gen 6 is better than Gen 4. And then the newer ones aren't as good as the older ones. And if your older ones are the ones that are always the best ones, people are going to stop buying the new ones.
Yeah, you could definitely see where Pokemon like peaked
Mhm.
too, and they just kind of didn't know where to iterate from there. And if I think if they would have like quit, the new regions or whatever, it's fine. But like quit adding 100, 150 new Pokemon every time. I think the most interesting stuff they ever did was the Mega Evolution and the Gigantamax stuff, which Gigantamax to a lesser extent. Um, but that's interesting gameplay mechanics you're adding to a game that's been pretty
Oh, yeah. And
stagnant.
that's another thing, too.
Even double battles were something that was pretty interesting when they introduced those.
That's another thing that pisses me off about it, too.
It's tough too because we're biased '90s kids, so it'd be interesting what new people think of it and whatnot.
And like Mega Evolution was like the coolest thing to come out of Pokemon in a long time, and then they just kind of
Stopped.
forgot
Like,
about it.
I
They
hate
just like,
that
well, never
because I
mind.
like the
They
Mega Evolutions, and then I went to play Sword or
Hmm.
whatever, and they weren't there. I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was cool.
The Zemus.
now they're kaiju's.
Yeah. So, well, Temtem coming out December. Keep your eyes out for it. Moving on to our last story of the week, that is over Nintendo's Mini Direct. Our final story comes from Kotaku, written by Ethan Gatch. Quote, Nintendo dropped another surprise Mini Direct this morning on Wednesday, end quote. With it came some big announcements. Nintendo started the show with a big look at Bravely Default Second, the newest sequel in the Bravely Default series developed by Square Enix. In it, we see how combat works and exploration works, characters, story, and what can be amounted to a lack of impressive visuals. In this trailer, we also learn of its new release date, which is February 26, 2021. Some cloud streaming games were announced to be coming to Switch. IO Interactive's Hitman 3 will be released on launch day for Switch with the other consoles, so day and date, via streaming only. And Remedy Entertainment's Control is also taking the streaming release format for Switch, and it is out now. We'll get back to that in a second because people have impressions over it, and it's not great. Along,
Yeah, I saw something
yeah.
interesting.
Along with these announcements, we also got to look at Immortals Phoenix Rising, the new open world adventure game made by Ubisoft, struggling to keep a steady frame rate and keeping smooth textures during the trailer. A new Story of Seasons game was announced, Story of Seasons Pioneer of Olive, not my hamster. For those unaware, Story of Seasons is what the old Harvest Moon games evolved into. A big drop of No More Heroes was shown, including a trailer for No More Heroes 1 and 2, which released on Switch right after the Direct. And alongside that, we also got a new trailer for No More Heroes 3, which has been delayed into 2021 because of the pandemic. It was also shown that Island Sim Tropico 6 is coming to Switch on November 6th. Apocalyptic survival game Surviving the Aftermath is releasing in spring of 2021. Deck building game Griftlands is releasing next summer, and adorable looking part-time UFO is available now. It's also worth mentioning that at the beginning of the stream, Nintendo said that this is their last partner showcase for Nintendo Directs in 2020. The last real Nintendo Direct was released all the way back in September 4th, 2019, which is crazy. I didn't realize it's been that long since we got a real Direct.
Yeah.
So a lot of information there, guys. First off, I mean, Bravely Default, I played the first one. If you did, okay, first, I guess, Jake, I know you watched the mini direct, right? Roger,
Yeah.
did you?
No, I saw some of the news and stuff that came out of it, but I didn't watch the direct myself.
Well, the first 5 minutes, Jake, would you say, was all about Bravely Default
It was just Bravely Second,
And
yeah.
I don't know
Mhm.
about you, but that game looked terrible. Like, it looked like it was a 3DS game that they just shoved
I mean,
onto the Switch.
it looks like it's the same team whoever did like the Secret of Mana remake and Trials of Mana.
Yeah,
The very much the same kind of quality of those
not
games.
great.
It's very they got that chibi art style, or I guess it's kind of like if they would have made a Octopath Traveler, but without a unique art
Yeah,
style.
I was getting some Octopath Traveler vibes from it, honestly, but then I was like, you got this weird 3D thing going on, and just it didn't look good, and I wasn't interested in any of it. I'm sure people are interested in it. This is their third game in the Bravely Default.
Yeah, didn't they make it Bravely Second?
Yeah, they did Bravely Second, but I guess that's not second. This is Bravely Default
Yeah, so they did
2.
Bravely Default, Bravely Second, and then Bravely Default 2. Stupid names, I know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't impressed at all. About the cloud streaming games, though, Hitman 3 coming to Switch, and we were talking about last week about what Nintendo's going to do because they're getting left in the dust with third party. Streaming is an option, but as Jay can tell you, it's not working out so well.
So I don't know if this is a Nintendo thing or the developers of
Remedy.
Control. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know if it's on their end or not, but apparently there's a play queue, so you have to buy the game still. But only so many people can play it at once. And the image I saw today was like, "There's too many people playing. You must wait in the queue. You are number 1050 in line." So it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um, Again, I don't know if that's a Nintendo thing or not. If it is, I don't know, man.
Apparently, I've never encountered this. I play streaming quite a bit, actually. I play PlayStation Now, Stadia, Xbox All Access. I do all of them. And I've never been queued, ever. I did one random person, so take this with the biggest grain of fucking salt that you can find on earth. But he said that, oh, well, I've been in queues for PlayStation Now games before, and usually it just lasted a few seconds, and I was able to go in. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea, but I've definitely never seen it like on launch or anything for like what's going on with Control. Like, yeah, people were, and then also I saw gameplay, and streaming is streaming. It wasn't running fantastically on there.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I don't know. I guess it just depends on who's playing it, on what kind of connection they've got. If it's docked with the Ethernet cable plugged in, or if it's just wirelessly connected.
Yeah, I mean that's streaming. Just like in a nutshell, it's just there's so many variables.
I mean, I don't think the Switch itself is the best option for streaming, especially if you're going to be playing it in handheld mode. But it is interesting that that format is coming to the West now, where they kind of tested it with Resident Evil 7 for a limited amount of time in Japan. It remains to be seen if these are just going to be limited releases or not as well. Because didn't you have to pay for Resident Evil 7 even though it was
I
limited?
don't remember. I have no idea. I can't.
Yeah, because I don't think you can play it anymore. Yeah, in Japan, I think it's like off of the console.
Yeah, I think so. I believe so.
I think it was only on there for a couple months. Which, again, another thing where I don't like about streaming is how wishy-washy your purchases are on
shut
there.
the servers down and then it's done. So
yeah.
And then we had a whole bunch of game announcements. The Immortals Phoenix Rising looked terrible. The game itself doesn't look bad, and actually after I saw this, I was like, oh wait, there's a free demo right now on Stadia. And I pulled out my phone. I was at work and I booted it up, and it had like the on-screen touch controls. And honestly, the game was kind of running fine and it looked pretty. The worst part was the touch controls. Like I couldn't figure out the buttons and stuff. terrible way to play any game is with an on-screen controller. But the game looked pretty on there, so I was like, okay, it's not the game, it's the Switch. Like, it looked bad. If you go back and watch the trailer, like, there's constant frame drops.
Oh yeah, you can tell. Like I've there's a YouTuber I watched that got to play a pre-release version of it on PC, and it looks beautiful on PC. It looks like a what's the best way to put it? I guess a 360 game that's still waiting for the graphics to render.
On Switch?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It looks like Fortnite on the Switch. Like, it looks...
yeah. Everything's very flat and simple. I guess
And
that's
that's
the
a
best way to put it.
PS4 game also, and Xbox One game. Like, that's not a next-gen, quote-unquote, game. That's current-gen.
I think wasn't it like announced for next gen, but said it's coming out with previous gen versions?
No, other way around. It was announced for this
Okay.
gen, and then also like, hey, we got PS5 and Xbox Series X versions too. So,
Okay.
yeah, they showed that off, and then everything else. The big thing, or I guess the biggest thing that I find interesting is that this is their last partner showcase, which means for the last 2 months of the year, they're not saying anything. And I don't think we're going to get a Nintendo Direct 2, or Nintendo Direct either. So what do you like? What's the state of Nintendo right now? Like, what do you guys think is going on?
I mean,
Who knows?
I think like as far as third party goes, whatever. As like we talked last week, they've got their first party stuff. I mean, we've got enough, I think, to tide me over for Nintendo for the year.
I mean,
but
Zelda,
especially with
Zelda.
the PS5 coming out and the new Zelda Warriors game, I think that's enough. I won't have time for Nintendo this year other than Zelda, so I'm
But I'm looking at it from like a Nintendo. If you play on Switch and you're looking for like the big games coming out,
I'm sorry.
you know, you're still playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got Paper Mario.
Paper Mario too. Roger, what do you think's going on with Nintendo right now? Do you think we're seeing like what's going on?
I don't know. I got no idea what's going on over there. I don't know.
I mean, I'm wondering if COVID affected them more than other places, but
I mean, it's got to, right? COVID's gotta play its own role.
I don't believe that. Like, I just think that they're seriously mismanaged. Like, I think they're really...
Interesting. COVID's being confirmed.
I mean, the guy who's president now that took over for Iwata, he hasn't really... we haven't seen much of him as compared to Iwata. And I'm wondering if it's still kind of like that shift in power that we're...
Maybe. When do they usually announce for like new stuff in the new year? Is it like March is when they kind of start going big with their announcements?
Yeah.
Well, it's like I said, that their last major announcement thing was in September of last year. They just do it whenever. Like, that's why the Direct was such a brilliant idea with Nintendo. Was like they were the ones that were like, we're not going to wait till June to make our big announcements. We're going to tell you whenever we feel like it. We'll tell you in July. We'll tell you in December. We'll tell you in February. We don't care. But now it's been over a year and they still haven't said anything. And back to like the mismanagement thing, I'm thinking of like Metroid Prime 4. That game has changed developers. Like, it's gone. It's been scrapped basically and redone from the ground up because whoever was...
And who knows what happened to Retro's game?
Yeah, and Retro's game is gone. It's like there's so many things over there. Like, what is happening? Breath of the Wild 2, I thought for sure that game was coming out this year. There's no reason. It's the same engine. It's the same world. And even if you're changing the world, there's no reason that game should take 5 years to make. No reason. Unless there's something seriously wrong going on over there. And there's more. Where's the next Mario Kart? We don't know where that is. Where's Pikmin 4? We don't know where that is. Where are all these games that we know Nintendo is making and developing, and there's something is going wrong over there? And then we can look at the Switch as well. Why do we not have fucking themes on the Nintendo Switch? Like, that's something so simple.
Yeah.
But they can't even get that right.
That's true.
Well, we got Black and White.
I'm sorry, but Iwata died when we like a year after we graduated. When your PlayStation has changed leadership since then. Xbox has changed leadership since then. Anthem is being rebooted in the time that it's taking for them to like get a president ready. That says something about your company, and that says something about how poorly your company is ran. If you can't get a president easily integrated into the system, because yeah, you're right. Iwata passed away, and then they had that one guy for a while. He was like the interim chief or whatever. And he was there, and he was the face of them kind of for a couple of years. And then they got the new guy, and then over in America we have Doug Bowser. Don't see him.
Listen, everything went to shit when Reggie
Yeah,
left
the
the
second we
company.
lost Reggie, it was over.
And you know what? Call me a conspiracy theorist, but Reggie left, and I think Reggie left because he saw the writing on the wall. He made that excuse that he wanted to spend more time with family. But if you recall, Reggie, like 3 months later, went over to GameStop, and now he's like president of GameStop. So obviously he wasn't doing it to stop working. I think something is going on at Nintendo in the back, and something seriously is going wrong with like how they're managing things and how they're running things. Pikmin 4 is done. Where is it?
No, we need the deluxe edition of 3.
Like,
how are we going to be able to go into 4 if no one played the third one? I mean, that's the thing. We gotta get that out to the masses.
like, I don't know, man. Something, and then I don't know. I don't think they were ready for the Switch, but they had to get the Switch out because the Wii U was such a colossal failure. And
I mean, to give them credit, like the first couple of years of launch, they were doing gangbusters
what I
over
think
there.
happened is that the first couple of years of launch were all supposed to be Wii U games. Like,
oh yeah,
Mario Odyssey is a Wii U game.
I mean, some of them were Wii U games.
And I think they've run out of Wii U games, and now they don't know what to do.
Well, we're still getting Wii U games.
Well, you're right. You're right. That's always the thing. Is like people are like, "How long until the Wii U's dead? We only have 3 more games, 2 more games, 1 more." It's like, okay, these are all old games.
We still got the Zelda games, which I'm assuming they're going to save till next year.
Because they need something.
If it doesn't come out next year, I don't think it will. I think they're not do it.
Wait, about what? Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Where's Virtual Console? Like, there's just so many things.
I mean, we kind of got Virtual Console. It's just kind of half-assed. They said right out the gate they weren't going to do Virtual Console.
I know.
Which is sad because we never got GameCube when we wanted it on the Wii U and it didn't happen.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Switch
I think
we got Mario.
Story Seasons is a good game. I think No More Heroes is going to be a good game. I think a lot of these games are going to be good games. But I think that people aren't going to go to these consoles because of these games. No one's going to be like, "Oh, well, I can play Hitman."
It's more to satiate the current audience now more than to sell consoles at this point.
Well, I don't think so. The Switch is selling well, but you got to keep that momentum up. If it stopped right now, 65 million, that's not good in 2020.
You say that too, and I've known like a lot of people personally that bought it, especially during the pandemic early on because they really wanted to get one because that was the buzz. And then they told me they just don't play it or are thinking about selling it or already sold it.
Same here. Like so many people, I think they made that purchase because they're like, "Oh, I'm sitting at home all day. I have nothing to do. I've heard about the Switch. It's really good." And everyone went out and buy. And then, now everyone that I know that plays the Switch doesn't play the Switch, or they've sold it, or they've given it away.
There was someone I knew that bought a Switch Lite because they couldn't get a regular Switch. And they're like, I don't know, I don't want it. And then they sold it. And then they had the opportunity to buy a regular Switch, and they did. And then they went and sold that already.
So, yeah, I mean, there's just when you don't have, because they have something there with the Switch. Like the Switch is good in concept. I think they need to iron out some of the kinks. I think they need to make it a little better. They need to get Netflix on there, things like that. But they're not doing anything. And it's like I said before, I think something is going on in the background. I think that company is up in flames right now. They're probably having a big power struggle right now. As you know, in Japan.
I mean, that's the thing, like, they lost both Reggie and Iwata in a very technically short period of time.
Well, it's not even that. I'm thinking just like Japan, the way things are ran over there. Like, when you lose a leader like that, usually it's the next guy in line, but that's not...
The other thing, like they usually have like a shift where like the previous one in power kind of hands off the torch, and they didn't really get that this time. It just was kind of like, oh, we got to get someone.
I mean, it's like I said, Xbox and PlayStation, both of them. When Don Matrick left, there was no handing of the torch. He got kicked out, and then Phil Spencer was like, "I'm running this shit." And same with the new. I can't even remember PlayStation's old president. It's embarrassing, but he just randomly left. Like, it was weird, but he randomly just dropped out. And then this new guy that actually came from Guerrilla, the guys that make Horizon, he's the president now. And the best thing that Sony did actually was they moved all their headquarters from Tokyo to California. They're an American company now, and that is the smartest thing that they could have done because now you don't have to go through all that Japanese bullshit.
And I think that is one reason why Nintendo is in the state it is now, because it's they're very I don't know
Old school,
traditional.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's slows down a lot of progress, especially like we were saying, like nothing much has happened on the Switch. I think they just don't want to touch what Iwata hadn't already overseen.
I don't agree with that though, because they have touched some things. They do change some things.
But barely. It's still the same like core system that it was when it came. There
I'm
hasn't
not telling
been
them that,
a substantial
but I'm not
update
telling
for
them to
it.
change a lot. I'm just saying you have a theme tab.
No, I know, but like the thing, nothing has really evolved from the point of what it was when it came out.
No, but I don't.
Things have like changed aesthetically a little bit. Like the eShop has changed a little bit, but nothing really as far from
But that's
like what the Switch can do has changed at all. I mean, the home button glows now on the controller.
yeah, I guess. But like even then, like I don't think consoles really change that much. I think a
No,
PS3 when it launches in 2006 is essentially a PS3 that launched or that got released in 2012 or whatever. Like, I think they just I don't know what they're doing. And
but as far as like iterating on like themes and other things you touched on, those are things they haven't changed.
yeah, but I don't think that they're doing that to respect Iwata. I think they're just
Mm-hmm.
not doing it, and I don't know why. And maybe, honestly, maybe they're just giving up on the Switch, which is totally possible. It is crazy to think about, but
I think they're just focusing on the
it's what
next
you
thing.
said.
I like like it is like it may be less so that they're not touching it because it was respecting Iwata. Maybe they just don't want anything to do with it
So
anymore
that
to
could
respect
be,
Iwata.
or maybe it has nothing to do with respecting Iwata. Maybe it's the thing of this was the thing that he wanted to do. He's gone. We're moving everything. We're going to give people some stuff because people are buying this. So we'll give them that Mario game that's been in development, and we'll give them Breath of the Wild, and we'll give them ARMS, and things like that. We'll give them these ports now. A lot of these things are ports. We'll give them a Paper
Mm-hmm.
Mario game or whatever. But they could be just holding all their cards now and be like, okay, we're going to make a console now, not a gimmick. We're not going to make the Wii. We're not going to make the Wii U. We have this Switch idea, and maybe it is what everyone thought before was that the dock is actually going to be more powerful and actually do like onboarding and stuff to make it run better, and then you could pick up the dock and then it's like a mobile thing or something. Maybe they're
Yeah,
doing that and just holding all their games.
Nintendo was really going all in on mobile, and then Animal Crossing happened and kind of shifted them back to the home market. So I think honestly, like
Well.
they were
Also,
going to be more.
Nintendo experimented a lot with mobile, and honestly,
Mm-hmm.
there's an argument made that all of them failed except for Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem's the only one that's like actually made money. The rest have not. So,
Mm-hmm. Well, Fire Emblem is like an actual Fire Emblem
yeah,
game. Mario Run is just it's an endless runner, kind of an
kind of,
endless
yeah.
runner. Um, and then the Pokemon Magikarp game was kind of a joke. Pokemon Go is of course still successful and still supported and has a like I think Niantic has really made that like that's Niantic's baby. Um, and then what else did they do? The Mario Kart game, which I guess
They
has an
did
audience.
Animal Crossing. They did Dr. Mario.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Animal Crossing was
Pocket
not
Camp, yeah, not
Animal
good. It
Crossing.
wasn't good.
Yeah, it was. I've tried to go to it, and there's certain things that like they've done, but it's just boring. And they gave up on Mitomo right away, which is sad. That was the only one that had any
Yeah,
worth
that's right,
keeping.
Mitomo, and they shut that down quickly. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like within a year.
So I don't know. I think a lot of things are going on behind the scenes, and I'm hoping they're just staying quiet and they're rearing for a comeback. But I don't know. And if they like delay Breath of the Wild 2 to be another launch game, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be kind of pissed off because
It could
that's
happen.
really stupid, and they shouldn't do that.
I feel like it'll still come out on
Yeah,
Switch,
probably.
just like the Wii U version did. And same with Twilight Princess. I could just see that.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't think we'll get a new console next year. Um, unless it's like a new Nintendo Switch. Like they like to throw that
I
word
don't know.
around.
We might get a
Uh,
new console because if you think about it, Iwata passed away in 2016, right? And from there on, they could have been like, okay, we're done with this stuff. We're gonna start doing our own thing. You got 4 years to develop a console. Like absolutely, you could get it, and you want it, and your competition is coming out in winter of 2020. So you go, okay.
I mean, I think that's the only reason they brought back the Animal Crossing limited edition Switch is so that they could have a presence during this launch.
Even then, like I only knew about it because you knew about it, but that's it. No one's talking about it. No one cared. It wasn't a trending thing on Twitter or anything. Like no one cared.
No, but it was something that they put out that had some interest in it, because I would know that was a console that was like, it came out right when the pandemic started, so they were all snatched up and gone. There were people who wanted it, and now I think they're so common you could just go to any store and pick one up right now. But it was something that kind of got people to talk about Switch for a little bit. They're like, oh hey, that's back. And
half a second, but yeah.
Yeah.
At least
yeah, I know. It wasn't much, but I think that was all they had. I mean, like other than the Age of Calamity,
which
they don't really have anything else.
Which is technically a second party game, but
I mean, and I wonder if they could even be working on a special edition Zelda Switch that's coming out.
Who knows? All right, well, I think we're good with that. Roger, you didn't really say much about it. I mean, you good about it?
You guys got it covered. I'm good.
All right.
He's just chilling. He's hanging out in his corner, talking through his Canon string.
I mean, literally, yeah.
He's got one of those like things, that looks like a satellite dish with the headphones on. That he's like pointed at.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and move on to the free games for the month of November. These are the free games coming out for PlayStation, Xbox, and then some other things at the end. So players subscribed to PlayStation Plus will be treated to 3 games for the month of November. Quick note, this is the first time in over a year and a half, 2 years, ever since they stopped support for the PS3 and Vita, we've been only getting 2 games with the occasional bonus game here or there. So this is the first time that we're getting back to getting 2 different sets of free games for PlayStation, which is great. On PS4, players will get Middle-earth Shadow of War and Hollow Knight Voidheart Edition. The first ever PS5 PS Plus game will be Bugsnax, a quirky adventure game developed by Young Horse, the team behind Octodad, Dadly as Catch. A reminder that PS5 is fully backwards compatible with PS4 games, excluding a small handful, meaning that any PS4 PS Plus game will also be added and run on your PS5. On Xbox, players that have Gold or Ultimate will be receiving Aragami Shadow Edition and Sumsanity. They will also be receiving the 360 classic titles Full Spectrum Warrior and Lego Indiana Jones. There we go, a normal name. Woo! New games coming to Xbox Game Pass include Carto, Day of the Tentacle Remastered, Five Nights at Freddy's, which I believe is the first 4 games actually.
I think they're getting. I think I read something. It was like the whole original 4 games.
Full Throttle Remastered, Grim Fandango Remastered, Players Unknown's Battlegrounds, more known as PUBG, Scourgebringer, Scourgebringer, Unruly Heroes, Celeste, Comanche, Deep Rock Galactic, East Shade, Knights and Bikes, and finally Ark Survival Evolved. Jesus Christ.
That was a struggle for you.
I hate people that name video games. As always, make sure you check in with Prime Gaming, Stadia, and the Epic Game Store, as every week they give new free game offerings, or every month or whatever.
Get Blair Witch and Ghostbusters while you can.
Yep, that's Epic Game Store right now. No subscription required for that. The other 2, Stadia and Prime Gaming, you do need a subscription. So,
Roger, do you have the Epic Game Store?
No, I don't have the Epic Game.
What are you doing with your life?
Not living it to its fullest, I guess.
Free games, man. Free games.
Don't even support them. Don't buy anything. Just take the free games.
All right,
they're good games. I got Grand Theft Auto 5.
You said they had great games. Ooh.
And let's see, what else did I get? I got Killing Floor 2.
There's so many. We don't need to list them off right now.
Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Okay. Sludge
We're gonna go ahead and move into
the
new big releases this week, and tradition dictates that Jake will go first.
Woo! All right, this week we got The Dark Pictures, Little Hope on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Abandoned and all alone, 4 college students and their teacher become stranded in an isolated town miles from anywhere after their bus crashes in bad weather. Trapped by a mysterious fog in a town of Little Hope, They search desperately for a means of escape, whilst visions from the past haunt them from the shadows. Is this not Silent Hill?
No, it's not. This is
Okay.
you remember that? Do you remember that Man of Medan game? This is the next game.
Yeah.
Apparently not good.
Oh,
Apparently it's not good at all.
so they're just doing Silent Hills.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
thought Man of Medan was good.
Man of Medan was okay. It was fine.
That was
This
fun.
one, Little Hope, I heard is not good. Sadly,
Oh no.
but we got it and we're gonna play through it. So we'll let you know about it next week, Roger.
Okay.
I guess this should be for you, Andrew.
It should be, but Roger's next, so he has this one.
All right. Watch Dogs Legion coming out for PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Stadia. In the near future, London is facing its downfall. The people are being oppressed by an all-seeing surveillance state. A corrupt private military corporation controls the streets, and a powerful crime syndicate is preying on the vulnerable. The fate of London lies with you and your ability to recruit a resistance and fight back. Watch Dogs Legion delivers a never-before-seen gameplay innovation that allows you to recruit and play as anyone you see in the iconic city of London. Every single character in the open world is playable, and everyone has a backstory, personality, and skill set that will help you personalize your unique team. Bring your characters online and join forces with friends to take back London in 4-player co-op missions, in-game challenges, and daily events. Welcome to the Resistance.
It's fine.
Sounds cool. I want my grandma game.
This next one I actually just bought.
What?
I actually just bought that game. The
You
next
did?
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, look at that.
I still have my $10 Epics
Coupon.
coupon.
I've
So
heard of it.
I got it for $13.
Nice. Well, the next game is Ghost Runner for PC. Ghost Runner is a hardcore FPP slasher packed with lightning-fast action set in a grim cyberpunk megastructure. Climb Dharma Tower, humanity's last shelter after a world-ending cataclysm. Make your way up from the bottom to the top. Confront the tyrannical Keymaster and take your revenge. The streets of the town city are full of violence. Mara, the Keymaster, rules with an iron fist and little regard for human life. As resources diminish, the strong prey on the weak, and chaos threatens to consume what little order remains. The decisive last stand is coming. A final attempt to set things right before mankind goes over the edge of extinction. As the most advanced blade fighter ever created, you're always outnumbered, but never outclassed. Sounds like Jake. Slice your enemies with a monomolecular katana, dodge bullets with your superhuman reflexes, and employ a variety of specialized techniques to prevail. One hit, one kill. Mechanics make combat fast and intense. Use your superior mobility and frequent checkpoints to engage in a never-ending dance with death fearlessly, except for the checkpoints. Ghost Runner offers a unique single-player experience, fast-paced, violent combat, and an original setting that blends science fiction with post-apocalyptic themes. It tells the story of a world that has already ended and its inhabitants who fight to survive.
So it's like Nier Automata.
Let's scratch that cyberpunk
I
itch
feel
for
like they
y'all.
could have cut at least half of that out and gotten to the point, but whatever.
Nah. Okay, so I guess it's me. The next title is The Legend of Heroes: Trials of Cold Steel 4 for PS4. The Erebonian Empire is on the brink of an all-out war. Taking place shortly after the ending of Trials of Cold Steel 3, the heroes of Class 7 find themselves against the full force of the Empire in an attempt to stop its path of total domination. Further, the hero of the Erebonian Civil War and Class 7's instructor, Rien Schwarzer, has gone missing. Now the students of Class 7, old and new, must unite with heroes from all over the continent to create the only chance the world has to be spared from total
Wait,
destruction.
so there's like students, classmates in this? What?
Yeah, so Legends of Heroes is an old series dating back to, I think, Dreamcast and stuff. But Trials of Cold Steel is a PS3 game and a Vita game, actually, of all things. And
Ooh.
yeah, so
Gotta
it's
plug the
4
Vita.
parts. And yeah, a lot of people relate it to Persona, and it really is like Persona. You're a student at this military academy, and you kind of like do the whole social aspect thing where you go around and you make relations with people and things like that. It has kind of a day system and things, but then you're also a soldier. So you're going out and you're fighting and you're going on these missions and stuff. And there's a whole like fantasy world and things like that, fighting
So
monsters.
it's like Fire Emblem.
Kind of, yeah. It honestly is kind of like Fire Emblem, but it's a JRPG, which I guess Fire Emblem's kind of a JRPG, but that's a tactical
Yeah.
RPG. This is more JRPG, like Final Fantasy type thing. Apparently, these games are really good though. Like if you ever get the chance to play them, it's recommended that you play them in order 1, 2, 3, 4. As you heard, like the story is, chronological. But they're good, is what I've heard, and 4 is good as well. I bought Little Hope and Watch Dogs Legion instead of Trials of Cold Steel 4, and I fucked up. So that was on me.
Yeah, I definitely think you made a mistake there.
Live and learn, live and learn. All right.
That's what Sonic says.
Yep. So Roger, you're up now.
Is it Pikmin? Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Pikmin?
Yeah.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe
Stupid.
for the Switch. Command a capable crop of different types of Pikmin, trademark, to strategically overcome obstacles, defeat creatures, and find food for your famished home planet. You can even bring a second player along to divvy up tasks as you explore a world that seems larger than life from a pint-sized perspective.
Have you never played Pikmin?
Nope.
What?
Never even.
I think you'd love that game.
Dude, I've never even heard of Pikmin until I saw them, I think, in Smash.
Dude, you would love Pikmin. You really, Roger, I know we joke about it a lot. You really need to come up here for like 10 days, and we need to educate you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
There's so many things where it's just like, we got to show you some things. Like,
I know. I'm pretty uncultured next to you, too. But, yeah.
hey, you know Nier, though, so that's good.
It's the only thing I have, but yeah. It's the only thing I got.
All right, well, up next is Visage, I think. Visage?
Visage.
Visage on Xbox One. Visage is a first-person psychological horror game. Explore a mysterious, ever-changing house in a slow-paced, atmospheric world that combines both uncannily comforting and horrifyingly realistic environments. And enjoy a genuinely terrifying experience.
Ooh, spooky.
Just in time for Halloween. This game is on PC as well. It released earlier in the month, so just want to point that out. If you want to play on PC.
Cool cycle.
Now, this next game, I've actually have a little interest in. It's just kind of a small game that the developers of Kirby put out. It's called Part-Time UFO, and it's exclusively digitally
It's
on
also
the
on
Switch.
mobile, by the way.
Move objects to the designated platform and balance, arrange, and build to help Earthlings complete jobs. Tasks range from farming, fishing, and stacking cheerleaders. Wait, what? Each puzzling job has multiple objectives hinted at through pictures. Solve them to earn in-game medals and unlock even more jobs. Just keep an eye on that timer.
I just want to let you both know, since you had Pikmin, Roger, and you had Part-Time UFO, those were paragraphs long. Paragraphs. And I went ahead and was like, no, we don't need that. So I cut it down to just the first one because it went in depth on everything. I was like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, Part-Time UFO came out on mobile, I think, 2 years ago in Japan.
Oh, really? I haven't even heard about it till they.
It's an old
Switch.
game. I don't know if it's out on mobile in US and stuff, but definitely in Japan, it's been out for a long time.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. If it was just in Japan.
Yep. All right, Xbox boy.
Hal Laboratory.
Is it my turn?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Tell me why.
You gotta sing this one.
Sorry.
Nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. For the Xbox One, Tell Me Why is the latest narrative adventure game from Don't Nod.
It's Don't Nod.
The studio behind the beloved franchise Life is Strange. In this intimate mystery, twins Tyler and Allison Ronan use their special bond to unravel the memories of their loving but troubled childhood in beautiful small town Alaska. I didn't know Alaska's a town. I've heard of Life is Strange. Never got around to playing it. Always wanted to.
I didn't either. The main character always turned me off. It's like this edgy teen that like always saying like hella and stuff, and she was like, edgy, and I'm like, I'm not into that. Yeah. Ooh, look at me. I don't care about anything.
My hair is not my natural hair color. Rebellion.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, up next is Cobra Kai. The Karate Kid saga continues, coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Choose a side, master your moves, and embrace your destiny in an epic beat-em-up adventure inspired by the hit show. Take control of 8 playable characters with deep movesets, combos, progression, real-time character swaps, ultimate attacks, and much more. 34 years after the events of the 1984 All-Valley Karate Tournament, the rivalry of Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence continues. The fight is in your hands now.
Did you guys ever watch that show?
No.
No, I've only seen the original movie and
Dude,
the
Wax on.
reboot.
Cobra Kai is actually super good.
Check it
Like,
out.
you guys gotta give it a chance when you can. It's actually
I've
super
heard.
good.
I know. I've been interested because I remember it started as a YouTube Red
Yeah.
show before they went premium, and then I guess Netflix picked it
Yep.
up after
Yeah,
that.
YouTube Red.
So that's why I was shocked to see it on Netflix because I was like, oh. I mean, when it was on YouTube, I didn't really care about it because I was like, what? I don't care.
Well, that's the thing. So YouTube Red like died in the water, but Cobra Kai was the only thing worth watching on there. So I'm kind of glad that they got away from that. But it's actually really good.
Because I hadn't heard about it until the most recent season got announced, and I was like, oh, that's still going.
Yeah, well, I think it kind of stopped, and then Netflix was like, no, we got you.
But it's cool. I think I'll probably watch it. This game, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the game, whatever. But the show's super good.
Well, our next title here, let me take a deep breath so I can read this real quick. Okay, so it's Population 1 for the Oculus Quest and regular PC VR. Suck it, PlayStation. Fight anywhere in this squad-based VR battle royale.
That's it.
Cool. that's top notch.
Yep. I mean, I guess it says what it is. It's a battle royale in VR.
In clunky ass
Yeah.
VR.
Apparently, I saw the user reviews for it. It has like over 1,000 reviews already, which is kind of crazy, and they're all really good reviews too. So
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's probably fine.
I don't know. I thought it would be terrible. Like that concept sounds awful, but apparently it's good. So I don't know.
Just imagine VR chat room, but you kill
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh man, this sounds fantastic.
Dude, they could easily put that in VR chat room. Just have a mode where you can kill people.
I think they already have that. It's
Run us
yourself when
VR.
you start the app.
It is Second Life.
Yeah. Oh man, you remember Second Life?
No,
You never do that?
You don't remember that? Dude,
No.
I remember that. Second Life.
I've heard of it, but I never had
Oh,
one.
dude, that was crazy. I went to
I mean, it.
when I was a kid. We went to like this little science camp thing, and they had an entire day where we just did Second Life. It was weird.
Yeah. My cousin had Second Life, and I would be there and like watching stuff. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's. I think it's kind of devolved from what I have heard it used to be.
Now? Is
But
it
it's
around
pretty
now?
much moved.
Yeah, it was,
I mean,
it was
I
always
think it's.
targeted.
I think it's like a
It was
furry's
always targeted.
paradise.
Oh, that's crazy.
But yeah, it's all moved to VR chat room now.
Yeah.
Like that's like why would you even use Second Life at this point?
All right.
Unless you don't have a VR headset. But I think you can still use it without a VR headset. So
yeah, you
there's
can, which is interesting, but okay, whatever. Like, do what you do, I guess. All right, so to end our show, we have our ending questions or discussions that either Jake or Roger might have. Do you guys have any questions or comments about this? Anything we talked about this episode?
Yeah. Why are you guys so
I'm-
lame? That's my question.
You know, my mother and my father.
True. Same.
I didn't have a father.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh.
I was just gonna say, how are you?
How am I?
Yeah, how are you
Good.
today? Everything's good here. We're fine.
Oh my
Everything's
gosh,
good.
I'm bad now. Angry now.
I mean, I guess anyone else want to bring up something to make the Wii U relevant to
Stop.
conversation?
I don't think we need to mention the Wii U ever again.
It wasn't. We got a little Wii U and Halo in this, and that's all I really
We
needed
didn't
to
get Star
accomplish
Wars
during
in.
this is to make sure we have it every
We didn't
week.
get Star Wars in. We gotta find one to make that.
I made my
He
reference.
made his reference.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did? What'd you say? I missed it.
That like, how are you? That hello thing. That's Han Solo
Oh.
on the Death Star in Episode 4. He's like, everything's
Yeah.
fine. We're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't consider Episode 8 Star Wars. I'm joking.
It's not
That's
episode 8.
Episode 4.
Oh,
4.
I was thinking
You're thinking of the
I was thinking
Yamama
Episode
joke
8 because didn't he do that to the one guys in the beginning?
to Hux. Yeah, he did the mama joke. It's like, hold on, can you put it on hold?
No.
Your mother's calling me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't
I-
remind me.
I thought it was like a phone call joke. Is what it was.
Dude, Joel with Shannon Portfolio for commissioner is texting me.
Fantastic. Roger, do you have any other comments or concerns or anything?
No, that pretty much killed the whole vibe.
All right. Well, with that being said, I want to thank our audience so much for listening and tuning in. If you enjoyed this podcast, go ahead and rate it on Google Podcasts, iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you find this podcast. Go ahead and tell your friends about it as well. This is a weekly podcast that releases now on Saturdays, I guess. Fridays are a little undoable until we hire a real editor. As long as I do it, it's going to be on Saturday.
Just whenever he feels like it.
I have nothing going on. Obviously, I'm laying in bed all the time. I'm never doing anything.
Oh yeah, I came home yesterday. You were just dead.
I was dead on the couch, like I was tired asleep.
And then you woke up to do a podcast, and then we're right back to bed.
It's been a time. You can also check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/thatoneandrew. If you want to follow Jake or Roger, you can go back to episode 1 and find where we put their social media things. I don't want to go through all that again. He's at Private Biscuit, and he's at Roger Benin, Roger_Benin_3rd.
Dude,
Is that what it is? I don't know. Just look up Roger Benin and maybe he'll pop up. He's the handsome one. I also want to thank the co-hosts. Jake, thank you for joining us today. And Roger, thank you for joining us today.
I also wanted to plug real quick. I don't have it started yet, but I will be streaming soon on twitch.tv at Private Biscuit.
There you go. So go to twitch.tv/Private Biscuit and subscribe, follow, whatever you do, and watch him stream things. You can go to Roger's window and watch him walk over to the gas station to go to the bathroom because his toilet's broken.
That's true. Roger,
I honestly think I'm going to give you this microphone. Like, I think I'm going to mail you my mic and just buy a new one. It might be the easiest thing to do. So,
so it's whatever.
Yeah, so expect things like that. But again, to our audience, thank you for listening. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you in our next episode. Also, make sure you go ahead and check out Doomed to Repeat History podcast. That's the other podcast I do. So, yes, thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Have a nice week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.